we're doing it. Starting with the three of us, we will build the audience as we go. Bobby Manning may be joining in a little bit. He was en route on a plane. Sherrod Blakely will be joining us in a bit too. A bunch of you guys already waiting in the room.
We're doing it one last time this season.
And then shutting down the company.
This actual season.
Tier.
Playoffs, regular season.
One last time. That's it.
One last time.
Hey,
for,
no
for
complaints.
better, for worse. For better, for worse. One last time here. But we will say at the top, we will be doing this. We're not going anywhere, but we're just not going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, we won't be talking about. It won't be exactly a post-game reaction for a while.
No Celtics to break down.
I think we're all okay with.
Right.
We just need some space.
Yep.
From the team.
Yeah, we need to take a break. So here we are, people. We're live. Final Celtics post-game show. Celtics lose predictably to Brooklyn. No Kemba, no Rob. No chance, really. We were talking about this offline a little bit. Like, don't take any solace in any moments of time.
Heads are falling off.
Yeah. Don't take any solace in any moments in time where it appeared that the Celtics gave a fight or were close or whatever. Brooklyn tried exactly as hard as they needed to try to win. And anytime that they wanted to put their foot on the gas, whether Kemba was playing, whether Kemba and Rob were playing, they were going to put their foot on the gas and they were going to convincingly beat the Celtics team. This wasn't a series that was ever intended to be close. They're lucky to have won that one game. You could tell the fight was really taken out of them with Rob and Kemba out these two games, because it's like, what are we going to do?
That was like, as they were pulling themselves up, it was just like kicked in the and they just like, I'm not getting up.
That's a bummer. So this was a sad, depressing game to watch because there was no chance. But there's still some positives. There's positives from this, and we'll ride them. I'm not going to lead the show with Romeo, but obviously Romeo was a story tonight. And we're going to spend a lot of time looking forward. So just, guys, any closing thoughts on this game? Anything? Look, and if people want to bitch about it a little bit, sure. That overturned foul call was absolute friggin' dog shit. I don't think the Celtics win anyway, and so be it. But that was an absolute dog shit call. And if this were like later in a series or a competitive series, we'd be losing our freaking minds here over that. Beyond that, I don't know what else to scrap from this game. I mean, like I said, outside of Romeo, which I am feeling pretd good about, what'd you guys see? Anything worth talking about at all?
I mean, Romeo.
You want good stuff?
Any observations off of this game before we inevitably go into the, 3.5 hours of offseason talk, Right.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, we said this going in, right? If they fight, if they show heart, if they put forth the right type of effort that we've been waiting for them to see consistently, then there's not a whole lot you can complain about. I mean, they just ran into the Brooklyn Nets. We knew the outcome of this one, but I don't think they necessarily got embarrassed. I just think they were just flat out outmatched, but they showed a lot of heart, especially in this one. They fought to the end. Obviously, 3 straight threes from Durant, Harden, and Kyrie's going to do you in. But, I just look at this entire series and say to, looking forward, the Celtics, when you compare them to the Brooklyn Nets, I mean, how the Celtics moving forward are going to match up with those 3 guys, I have no clue. We're going to do our best tonight. I have a feeling we're going to do our best tonight to try to figure that out. But, when you look at someone like Jason Tatum, I think that has to be at the top of the list of, the silver linings of this entire series for the Celtics. I mean, he went out and he fought, he sort of shut up his critics in the sense that people who were questioning if he could do it on the big stage, if he could, go toe to toe against Kevin Durant after game 1. And he showed out, a lot of these performances, I think, is something that he can carry over into next season, or at least say to himself, hey, I went toe to toe to Kevin Durant and I dropped 50, following night, 40 points, tonight, 32. I just think that was one of the biggest things I wanted to see from Tatum heading into the series. No Jaylen Brown, a banged up Kemba Walker, a banged up Robert Williams. What are you going to do? Can you perform at a high level? 1, and 2, can you bring this team to a victory? One of them. I had this team winning one of these games in this series, and I didn't think any of these games were going to be blowouts, minus the first one. This one kind of got away from them, but it certainly didn't feel like a blowout. I don't know. What do you guys think, Jimmy? I don't think the Celtics. I don't think if you look at yourself in the mirror, you're embarrassed. I think they fought.
I think it was really well said what you said about Tatum. I think, when you look at the Nets winning in a 4-1 in the series, I think that was the best case that I envisioned. I thought the Celtics could have taken Game 3 or Game 4.
Game 1, they had that.
I
But
know
if they
The
take
first
Game 1,
half, John. The first half they had. That's it.
Right.
But touche, I guess.
I'm saying before the series started, I think we all were like, it's going to be a 4-game sweep, or it's going to be like gentleman's sweep, and it was gentleman's sweep. So I'm not surprised by the series result. I too was looking to see what Tatum would be able to do, and I mean, it proved what we said. It was basically this: like Tatum's going to have to go out and score you 50 if you want to win a game, and that was a game where they won. So it goes to show you how much work this roster needs. And I know that Jaylen Brown was out, and that's a huge difference, because now you've theoretically got another guy to put on Kyrie or play off of Harden or whatever. So that's huge. And I don't know what the hell's going to end up happening with Kemba Walker. Rob, we all love Rob, but, obviously the health is now another thing that we have to talk about with him. So I don't know where this team goes from here, the way it's constructed. I think there's obviously a lot on Danny Ainge's plate. I don't want to go too far ahead of myself, but if I'm talking about this series, super impressed by Tatum. There's a couple moments in the series where I was impressed by Nesmith. Obviously, Romeo showed out a little bit tonight. That was good to see. Overall, though, it was kind of like sort of like they are who we thought they were.
Yes, Natalie, I'm going to get to the hugs. Just hang in there. Go ahead.
They were who we thought they were.
Yes, I saw the hugs, and I tweeted about the hugs. And
I did think the Celtics did kind of get punked in Game 4, so that was disappointing. I thought they got punked overall in the series. John talked about needing to be tough in the series, and I just don't think they ever really were tough enough. I think maybe there were points individually where maybe Tatum or maybe Thompson was tough or whatnot, but overall they were just outmatched.
Fournier, we see you.
Fournier, yeah, a little back and forth there, which was good, but you needed that like 10x. So yeah, we probably have to hand up on that one. But those are my I guess rambled thoughts on this series.
There's a few. So look, I think there's plenty of things you can draw. There's moments, snapshots.
Hey,
things that
there
happen.
you go, Jimmy. Cheers, bro.
Yeah.
I'm tea though. You're coffee, so we're completely.
Yeah, I saw the little.
Right now.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, there's things we can pluck from. We have a whole season's worth of evidence to draw a lot of our conclusions, but I still think there's stuff that stands out here too, and
What's
it's
the
interesting. After the game, it's like Kyrie's hugging people for like 30 straight seconds and whispering in their ear, "Get the f out of here."
What do you think he's saying? What do you think he's saying?
Get the f out of here. Get out of here.
I'm worried about what he's saying. I expect to listen. It's a buddy league. It happens in every sport. After
I know.
But yeah, I know. This situation.
That's all
I know. And I'm a grumpy old man. I'm a angry boomer. I get it.
I'm glad you're bringing this up right now. I'm glad we're leading off with this, because this is important. The Celtics just consider this a rivalry if they want to have at least a chance in this thing. And that dapping up, and what is he giving up? Freaking advice or people's fortune?
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about what's actually being said, but I'm not like.
They're not. He's a superstar. He's in the club.
Right.
You got to make nice with him, because I want to be in the club.
Right. And if you play your cards right, you'll get your fortune read by him at the end of a 4-1 knockout series.
I get it, guys. I get it. Angry boomer.
They do still love him. I don't know if Jaylen does though, but yeah, they do.
Listen, anybody. All I'm saying is, look, I'm not Mr. Logo Stomp. Like, I'm not like stepping on the logo was like stepping on my heart. Like the people who freaked out over it.
It's funny you say that.
Okay, big baby.
It's funny you say that, John.
That's what he said.
I was actually disappointed by all the people out there who want to make fun of people who think that's a big deal. If you're a fan is short for fanatic. You're a fan of this team. The logo, regardless, like the lucky, the whole thing, it should mean something to you as a fan. No one's like. I don't think people are losing sleep about it, but I can't stand the people or the reporters who are oh, you actually care about that? Oh, it's a logo. They walk on it all day during the game.
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
They're
Yeah.
above that logic.
Oh,
They're above that.
sorry that you care
That's
about
not what I'm
a
saying.
logo.
What I'm saying is that's fun fan
outta here.
fuel. What I'm saying is
It is fun.
That's fun fan fuel in a competitive series to be like, ooh, I'm gonna get him. You know, like that's
right.
the
That's
good
fun.
back and forth.
That's the harmless stuff.
They chant something.
Heat of
It's
the
like a
moment type
college
of
game
thing.
or a high school game. One side chants something weird, the other side chants it back. You go back and forth. Ooh, they insulted us. We're gonna insult them. Like I like that. Like that's that. I love villains. It creates villains. But like there was no way you were going to get back at him because this series was never going to be competitive. What bothered me was the lack of response. You had 3 ex-Celtics saying something. Not a single one of these guys said anything.
I know.
Not a single one. And
John,
then
please tell me you saw Brad before this game.
No. What did he? What?
Okay, Gary goes, all right, 1, we didn't hear what you had to say about Kyrie, what he did to the logo. 2, we haven't heard what you had to say about the water bottle thing.
Yeah.
And 3, what happens tonight? Like something to that effect, right? I'm cracking up because Gary, you can just see he's just like, man, I need some answers right now.
Tell me everything.
He answers the Kyrie thing, unacceptable, going across the league. There's no place for that. He answers what's going on, what's going to happen in this game. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out of here. Never address the leprechaun thing, the stomping on the face.
Lucky gate.
Just dodged it. Just dodged it.
You don't do that. Nobody talks about it. Nobody says anything about it. You get ex-players saying something about it.
Right. And you know why those players care?
And then they go and they're like, I can't wait to hug Kyrie when this is over. Like, is the game over yet so I can hug Kyrie? I hate that.
Those players care because
I just think he really
it meant something.
Maybe
it meant more to them to be wearing that uniform or playing on that court or running back and forth in that logo. But all you like Twitter like know-it-alls and those like little reporters who want to turn up a nose at the fans who are like actually upset about it. It's like, get off your high horse. This is what being a fan's all about. Of course, people are going to be like, screw Kyrie. Like, of course.
These are the diehards that
you're supposed to hate. You're supposed to get mad.
You're supposed to get mad. And the team is, like, we're not saying they're going to, throw hands over it. Like, the players aren't going to get that pissed about it. But, like, it should make you feel something.
KG might have.
It should make you feel something. And that goes back to what we were saying.
12 years ago, I think KG might have, but yeah.
Where's the pride? Where's the pride? Honestly,
so there should be some.
Where is the pride?
They showed none.
I think this is the perfect example of that.
Not only did you get stomped logo-wise, you got stomped for 48 minutes on your home court by the guy that said, thanks, but no thanks. See you later. I'm going to go play with everybody else but you guys. And by the way, I'm gonna insinuate that all your fans are racist and this, that, and the other thing. So, by the way, I'm gonna stop.
And I'm gonna call DeAndre Jordan too. Trust me, he's gonna.
Yeah. And so
he's gonna help us out.
If you think fans aren't gonna get a little perturbed at something like that, and it's a logo, it's harmless at the end of the day, then newsflash, you've lost your fandom. You're not a fan anymore. You're too jaded. You're too sinister, and you should just stop watching sports because you don't actually enjoy them.
Fans are supposed to get mad, as I said.
That's what makes them. That's what makes it great to be a fan. Just keep it in bounds. That's all.
He did it. That's why
I know.
He did it. Come on.
But
he's embracing the villain role. We talked about this a couple nights ago.
As long as the fans can keep it in bounds and like be a fan and leave it at that, then it's all fun. It's all fun and games. Like just.
But no heart from the Celtics, both in their actions and their words. Lack of actions, lack of words. Not once did they get physical, tough in somebody's face, bother them, make it uncomfortable. Did you see the smoke that you get in a playoff series at any point in time? Evan Fournier once got a little snippy with Durant. That's it. Getting chippy down the boards, down below.
And they were down like
tossing an elbow. Nothing. Out fighting somebody, diving for something hard, taking somebody out in the process. None of that stuff.
Nothing.
Like there wasn't anything that was pushing it, going fast, running into stuff. Everything was like we're going to just
dive for the ball. Nothing.
Nothing that
nothing
resembled.
Did you hear one like
nothing after a whistle?
Game?
No chirping. Nobody getting in something. No commentary. No fiery commentary. No, we're going to show them. No, we've got to get tough. Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. They got
nothing.
punked.
Start to finish, and then the logo. fine. Nobody says a thing, and then hugs, hands. So let's all hug. Where are you guys going after?
Yeah,
Good luck.
hey, yeah. Good luck. Yeah, like, you guys go get it. Go get them.
I agree.
Yeah, I think
There's
you guys
no
got
dogs.
this.
No
I think you're gonna
dogs.
win it all.
I'm surprised they didn't exchange jerseys. I didn't watch long enough. Maybe they did.
Oh man,
Maybe one of them walked out of there wearing Kyrie's jersey.
that would have been hard to watch. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you gonna do? These three guys, how are you gonna stop them? Like,
does it matter? You're
Glenn
not
Davis
gonna stop them.
Glenn Big Baby Davis, the same guy who was bawling his eyes out because he got yelled at by Kemba Walker. Glenn Davis is showing more like Celtic pride and heart, saying like, "Hey, like this isn't good." And then Kevin Durant, by the way, coming at him on I don't know if you saw Kevin Durant's response, but I mean these guys can do whatever the hell they. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can do whatever the hell they want and say whatever they want, and no one's gonna say boo. Apparently, no one's gonna say boo about them. Let them just run the league. Go all the way to the NBA final. Just here you go. Here's a roll with the red carpet for him, because apparently the only people who care are no longer walking through this door anymore. Kevin Garnett's not walking through this door, fans. Big Baby Davis is not walking through this door.
Rob seems pretty triggered by this. I'm sorry we've offended you. I don't know how you're a
What's he
Celtics
mad
fan.
about?
Apparently this isn't relevant.
The Celtics probably.
I don't know. He's mad that this is part of the conversation. I don't know how you're a Celtics fan and not really aggrieved.
This is a culmination of the season.
At the lack of fight they showed at every moment of the season. I don't know how you're a Celtics fan and not think that that's one of the biggest problems that they had this season. And it shows itself again here. They just laid down and took it.
If he wants
of course his team's
pick
better.
And roll defense breakdown, we should stick around long enough. Maybe Bobby will get here.
Yeah,
but
Bobby
we're talking about the season and the way it ended today, and how honestly this series was a bit of a bit symbolic on how the season went. Anyways, I mean, they really at the end of the day they may have made it look interesting here and there, but they were never really close.
Yeah, but John just wanted to see someone get punched.
I just wanted to see fight.
You weren't going to be happy unless you saw violence. You wanted violence.
Who didn't want to see?
John chose violence.
John
wanted physicality. John wanted toughness.
I might have advocated violence, but really I just wanted a little heart. That's it. Okay.
And it's the playoffs. You know what else?
They fought.
It's
though.
tough.
They fought.
You know what else I'll say? I watched the Bruins last night. I know they lost and whatnot, but you want to talk about a team right now that's putting it all out there. I mean, stark contrast right now in the way two organizations are just like they're sort of like their vibes going into games here. It feels like.
Yeah,
let's go with your boy Tuca.
He's fighting through injuries.
Tuca looked a little dizzy last night.
Fighting through injuries.
A little bit.
You know what? A couple players who couldn't on the Celtics.
We're a game away from a goalie controversy. One game away.
One bad game.
That's what I was. That's what I was.
One bad game.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? Tuca's. We're not going to get into the Bruins, but real quick. Now I already asked him a couple of times today.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
Tuca Rask, two of those goals last night were not his fault, and I didn't really think his whatever injuries he had. I didn't really think those were reasons why the Celtics lost. I mean, why the Bruins lost that game at all.
Yeah.
He looked a little slow maybe here and there, but I mean, you're talking about 2 power play goals, 1 breakaway turnover. I mean, come on. That's one own goal deflection off a skate. Come on. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you two this question. If you're Danny Ainge right now,
we're toxic. You know what, John? Get Rob. I don't want to see Rob on this thing one more time.
Say that, and I can't preface this.
Rob's been here. He's got a right to express himself. He's been here the whole way through.
Hold on, Rob. I got you, Rob. We're gonna go into something. I got something here for you, Rob.
We're toxic.
Hear me out. If you're Danny Ainge, again, I can't say that. Like, I'm talking about if you're Danny Ainge, take out all the things that we've been talking about. Just see it through his eyes. Do you blow this roster up? Do you do your absolute best to blow it up? And obviously, I mean, I'm not talking about trading Tatum or Brown, but minus that. Or
I think you can blow it up without that.
Or are you thinking to yourself, you know what? If these guys are healthy again, why don't we just run it back for one more year? I like what we saw in that one win.
I told
you put Jalen in this series.
So
you know,
I'm going with what I've said forever. Okay, I am still team run it back because I'd rather see them if they again. We're quick to react. We've all done it. Okay, you know.
It's what the show is.
I think your version of running it back is the same as mine. We're talking. You know, hopefully they can do something with what's left of the MLE. You know, trading a couple pieces off of that bench, right? You're not saying like, you know, put Marcus in a deal and get a marquee guy.
It's
or whatever,
very
right?
clear you need to trim the back 5 or 6 off. Like
consolidate. Yes.
They have to be in Europe, like gone.
China.
Sorry,
gone.
Shane. Sorry.
Gone. That's automatic. I don't care what you do. You need actual professional basketball players. You've got to trim the back end. But you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
No, he's not wrong.
Let's call Kemba a starter.
He's calling them amateurs.
They are, man. They're not NBA. I told you.
Pros, they're just not.
I told you
NBA
none of those
pros.
guys. I told you Grant and Semi do not get another NBA contract after this one. I've said it all year, and I believe it.
Who and Semi?
Grant and Semi do not get NBA.
I think Grant gets
contracts.
picked. I think the Celtics are going to pick up Grant's option.
I'm saying he does not get a second NBA contract.
Oh, okay, got you.
This is what the contract
either
they're
he
playing
extends
with,
or he's out,
or that's it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Anyway,
that could happen actually.
Anyway, you know what you're doing. It's the 5 starters, and you're stuck with Tristan. You're stuck with, and then you've got Pritchard, Romeo, Nesmith. You're running, and now you're seemingly Parker. You're running all those guys back. The question is Fournier. So let's look at what we saw. Fournier is obviously the biggest question mark because he's unrestricted. Off of what you saw here, and again, Jimmy, I've seen these next season free agent lists. Most of these guys are player option guys or restricted. True unrestricted free agents, there are not a lot. And Romeo actually is someone of value. Go ahead.
Player option guys most likely will become
most will opt out.
Guys.
Yeah, most will opt out. But a lot of these guys are unrestricted. So he is somebody who will get some attention. As Bobby said a bunch of times, he is good on he's someone who a good team could really use.
Well, I said that.
Right. Okay, you did. Does he justify keeping? Bobby was team keep him at all costs.
Bobby's $20 million easily. Bobby will, I think, do $80 million over 4 years.
I'm stuck on this guy. Sometimes I see him and I'm like, man, this is exactly what you need. He's a pro's pro. He can come in. He can do a lot of different things. He's versatile. He's comfortable with the ball. He can create his own shot.
And then Harden puts him on skates. Yeah.
And then other times I see him and I'm like, this guy's a washed up jack.
Sliding all over the court today.
Yeah. I'm so all over the map on this guy. What do you guys think? I really am. I really don't know where I land.
Well, it goes back to what I said about him the very first time they acquired him. It's like I've never seen an Evan Fournier highlight in my life, like on SportsCenter or whatever like that. There's some truth to that. Like obviously I was joking, but like Evan Fournier is a guy that a good team would really benefit from because he should be like a 5th option. And I don't mean like on offense, but like in general, like you should have guys that do a lot of other things better than what he does. And he needs to be the guy that does everything pretty good. And I think he kind of is, but I just don't know if the Celtics are going to have a team good enough to make him really valuable to them. You know what I mean? Like, does he take them from a really good team to a great team? Because I think that's where Evan Fournier's like value is. So there might, and I don't know this because I haven't done enough of the research to see where every other team's off-season money situation is. But if there's a better team than the Celtics going into once the offseason starts, and they're interested in Evan Fournier and the money's similar, there's no telling if Evan Fournier even likes playing here.
I know.
I mean, I have no reason to believe he does or doesn't. I just don't know either way. But do I want the Celtics to commit $20 million a year to him when I still don't know if they'll be good enough with him in a major role? At the same time, do I want them to lose him for nothing as they have a number of other guys over the last couple of years? So a long way to say I have no freaking clue. But I'm almost looking at the negatives.
Well said, Jimmy.
I'm looking at the negatives to both, which might actually shock.
This is why I'm all over the map. I don't know. Part of me was thinking, screw it. No, because this is another impediment to seeing whether or not you have anything real in Romeo and Nesmith. And I know we only saw snapshots, and I know they might not end up being really good. But again, I'm looking at ceiling, not floor. Evan Fournier is a floor player for me, which is a guy who absolutely you go out there and he's going to make sure that you don't dip too low, and he's going to keep things running for you and be a really good guy. He's a great guy to have on your team.
Right.
Teams would be lucky to have him, but Is he
Are there
taking
too
you
many
to the
guys
next?
like that on the
Is he
Celtics?
taking you to the next level? I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Well, the other thing is,
I don't think you look at him like that though. I think you look at him as a piece that you can rely on. Maybe not someone that gets you to the next level, but just a consistent piece that obviously, barring any other injuries, would be,
Yeah.
a hell of a lot more useful than, I don't know, someone like Gordon Hayward, who obviously has been compared to him in the sense of taking on that sort of role. Obviously, Aaron Nesmith is someone that I think Danny Ainge still has, sees a bright future in. But I mean, I don't know if the two are related in the sense of that he's going to overshadow his ascension, Nesmith's ascension. And plus, you have to also think, if Danny Ainge really going to go hard this offseason, as he should, and just try to get at least what we're talking about, some sort of a piece that you could rely on, a rotation guy, whether that means a 6-man or someone that could start for you, it's probably going to take someone like Nesmith, picks and all that we talked about throughout the year, the best package you can put together. I would think Nesmith is going to have to be a part of that if you're going to choose that option. And I also don't think, again, when we talk about the Celtics running it back, I think Danny has that mindset, but he's also thinking about making some sort of tweak that's going to give this team another weapon that he can add to the fold here, whether that means someone in the front court or a reliable backup guard to come off the bench.
I
Yeah.
wish
Especially with
that
Kemba,
Nesmith and
he
Romeo
might go that route.
had more value going into this offseason than they do, because I do see we all see flashes of it when we see those two guys out there. They might be rare flashes, but I think we all see some potential with Romeo and Nesmith. And the issue with Romeo obviously was he was hurt so long and actually may or may not have been dead to start this year for at least, the first couple months or so. And Nesmith just could not get out of that Brad Stevens tornado of rotational guys that one day would play and then 7 games in a row wouldn't, and then it was just all over the place. So they never really established much value with him. So I don't know how much value they have this offseason. But at the same time, now you have them both back for next season, and then maybe they start to really establish themselves as rotational players and guys who are young and on controllable contracts. And now you've got some value growing there. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that means keep Fournier and hope that one of those guys becomes tradable, or maybe Fournier's deal isn't so awful and he's a guy that isn't seen as like a Kemba Walker type contract where, like, oh my God, they're paying $48, $20 million. They'll never get out from under that. I don't know if that's really going to ever be the case.
You've got Fournier, you've got Smart. The thing with like the
Smart's
kids,
we haven't even mentioned Smart in the show once, first time.
Yeah.
Going into
his
trading
block,
final year of his deal. Going into the final year of his deal. Talk about a player who can make a really good team into a great team. I mean, Smart fits that bill to a T. I mean, you would think.
I got to be honest with you guys. I don't see an off season where Danny Ainge is not dangling him in deals. Like, he has to do that, right? I mean, he wouldn't be doing his proper due diligence if he didn't, right? So I mean, whether he's able to land a deal or not, obviously those are two separate things. But I think if you're
that's a couple ways to look at it, though.
If you're Danny, that's your best piece, right?
Right. What's he worth?
Let me put it this way.
John doesn't think he's worth anything.
I don't think he's worth.
Well, it's an expiring deal, so it's tough.
I don't think he's worth anything more than being an expiring contract, because, as I said, you're not giving away assets and paying a guy a lot of money. You're doing either or usually, unless it's a star, and he's not a star. So again, I don't know. Did Davis play?
Yo, it's a 12-point game.
Know.
Relax, Jimmy. And no, Davis has been ruled out.
Sorry, I couldn't do
so
the math
I
in my head
don't think you're getting much for him. I think
you thought it was 18, didn't you?
I thought it was like 22. I was like, shoot, wow, they're going out.
So if you do, what's the most you get? You get a future first from a team that's going to be picking late in the 20s because they're like, I want this guy. And so you're going to make your team worse next year to get a shitty first round pick low in the draft, a Pritchard type player. No disrespect to Pritchard, but I mean, drafting in that slot, that's how much better than that are you going to do? Is that worth it?
No. I mean,
what's your goal?
I don't know. My goal is
you have to address that backcourt, guys. I mean, let's face it. Everyone can hope and wish that you get some version of Kemba that's more productive than what we saw overall this season. But if you're Danny Ainge, you have to realistically think, I need a starting point guard. Peyton Pritchard's not ready. Kemba Walker, whether he's ready or not, he's going to continue to be a health concern. We think he's going to play on the second nights of back-to-backs after this offseason.
Well, so I got a quote from Kemba here. I can't play it. I'll just read it to you.
Read it with a big
It's
smile.
terrible. It's tough. It's disappointing that his season had to end like this.
With a big smile, asked if he needs to keep sitting out back-to-backs for the rest of his career to keep his knee stable. I don't know. I'm really not sure, to be honest. That was one. He's not planning on it. Then he was asked about kind of the offseason, and he said, I'm really planning on having a big summer, get myself feeling good again. It's been a while since I've really had time off. This is a really important time for me. That just makes me want to kill myself. You didn't
say that part. You added that one.
No, that was me.
Okay. Yeah,
there would have been like 7 follow-ups after that shit.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Well, what did you expect to hear? I mean, that doesn't really surprise me. He wants to have a big offseason.
Okay, here's what I would have liked to hear.
What I'm waiting to hear is that Kemba Walker went under another some kind of knee surgery to alleviate such and
minimally
such.
invasive surgery.
Yeah, invasive.
That's what stuff is like.
Drain the
minimally
fluid
invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kemba Walker has flown to Albania for an
experimental
a
plasma
procedure.
Yeah, something that worked once on a giraffe. Like you're gonna hear something weird. It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
They've shown great results in emus.
What about Brad's pregame quote? Trying to back you sent that to us, John.
That was so bad.
Man.
It was Brad, wait. What I said last game, everyone
wasn't the pain in the knee; it's around it, and he thinks it's more that than
different type of pain. Yeah, totally not the same.
Danny was like ixnay on the ene, like you just killed our trade stuff, man.
Yeah, and I think if Kemba Walker was just dealing with bone bruise pain, I feel like he would play because at that point it's kind of like a pain tolerance thing than actually worrying about structural or degenerative knee condition. So nobody believed that.
Yeah, I like this one.
No content.
They've got good friggin' scientists there. They do. Advanced technology. Yeah, so I mean, it's.
But do you guys hear me on that one though? I mean, I know we floated around.
What new backcourt
names like Kyle Lowry and Lonzo Ball. I mean, I don't want to. We don't have to rehash those conversations. But do you feel me on that though? They need a point guard heading into this next season. I don't know if this team
AD is not playing.
Will even compete. Yeah, AD's out. He's out for the whole game. He was ruled out before the game started.
I didn't get that info.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Josue. I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying, and I would love those two players that you named straight up. I don't know how they could make either of those two things happen, but we've talked about them numerous times on this show, on Locker Room. We've talked about them.
Toronto's interesting.
I think Lowry is he's one of those. He's a tough guy. He's a fighter. He's a dog.
I'm not moving off of Lonzo until it doesn't happen.
Me too. That's
been my pipe dream since the trade deadline.
Yo, that shit happens, John.
That's obviously
all the props in the world.
I'm not moving.
John, from day one, he called this. I'll give you all the props for that one. You were saying this in what, January? Maybe I want to say.
I've had Lonzo I've had my sights set on him as the number one target since way back.
I think it would be sweet, and honestly, I think that's a team that there might be some kind of match there. I mean, obviously, the Celtics would most likely be having to send maybe a pick or so. It depends on who else is in it, but whether you talk about Marcus Smart, whether you talk about one of these other young guys that they'll have to package with picks, I think that there's.
I don't want a star. I don't want a star. I don't want Beal. I don't want it. Meaning, of course,
I take Lonzo over Beal.
Of course, you'll take him. I'm saying, do you want to clear out everything and everything, or do you want to consider Jalen in him? No, I don't.
I want guys that can play with.
I want guys that can play with Tatum and Brown. That's it. I want a guy
Lonzo,
who
and Rob.
Yes,
Lonzo by a mile.
Lonzo, he can play. He's switchable. He can play a lot. He can play defense.
He plays defense.
Good passer, really good passer.
That's it.
Young.
And if you're the Pelicans,
half court and transition, absolutely. Yeah.
Dad would be a good story. Good guy to get a couple quotes from here and there.
Replacing him with Marcus Smart is not the worst thing in the world if you're the Pelicans, right? But his contract situation makes things complicated, I think.
Marcus and you choose to.
There's no way. There's no way you give up Ball and have
plus your first
without a
plus your first plus a player. Would
Pelicans
you do it?
Make the playoffs.
Do it for Nesmith, your future first, Smart, or whatever.
Marcus on that team, I hate to say it,
and then dump a salary that you want to get rid of.
Pelicans team could use a Marcus.
Maybe.
That's right. I'm saying, like, they're a young team that might be looking for a good veteran type, a tough player and a guy that's had experience in the playoffs and knows what it takes to get there.
And then Robert Williams is healthy. He's lobbing to Rob.
Lobbing to Rob.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get rid of Rob? You just include Rob in the package?
I'm saying Lonzo tossing
Lonzo.
To Rob.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay then. We'll let that one slide.
So that's what's interesting is, like, you have the game 3 win and you're talking about Tristan and Marcus and, like, being, along with Tatum, who dropped 50, these huge players, and they totally needed it. And then literally the Nets were like, oh yeah, it's Tristan Thompson. And he looked these last 2 games like the worst version of Tristan Thompson. Like, I think he missed 6 straight layups at one point tonight. But when you
add
everything that he's given the Celtics this series, though, I mean, you take that, John, right? I mean, that's sort of, this is what we predicted, right? He wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, technically he's a starter, but he's technically not. But in this situation, he is. This was the kind of production that we wanted to see off the bench in the postseason, And obviously, the shorthanded Celtics, it looks terrible under this light, but this is what Tristan was supposed to be in the postseason. If you're the Celtics, this is exactly what you wanted.
Tristan here is the cautionary tale behind potentially Fournier, because Tristan was signed because the Celtics didn't realize Rob was ready. And that's the only reason you went out and signed Tristan Thompson. You made the mistake. You spent that money. It hurt you because then it killed your flexibility and the moves that you were able to make because you were hard capped by using that mid-level on Tristan. You would have been better off doing nothing and rolling the season with Tyson Rob. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to overpay theoretically to re-sign Evan Fournier or sign him and theoretically get yourself make them as roadblocks to your other wings and guards that you have that may or may not be able to develop into better players. And it is a shame you didn't get to see whether or not those guys had a little bit more in the tank because they didn't have a preseason. They've had with Romeo, you had injuries. He's basically missed like 22 out of 18 of the last 24 months.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what Danny's telling himself heading into this offseason, though. That's the whole running back mentality that he's got flowing. When you consider the fact that no training camp, no summer league, a quick turnover. I mean, shit, let's face it, guys. This NBA season, I don't know, man. All these injuries are stacking up. This isn't a coincidence. This schedule was ridiculously grueling. The turnover wasn't enough time for these guys to get ready. And look, at the end of everything, the Brooklyn Nets, the team that couldn't, quote unquote, stay healthy for one reason or another, they're completely fresh. They got like the freshest legs right now because they're heading into postseason with the perfect momentum, and they haven't had so much miles, compared to other superstars across the league.
Right. Then guys like Kyrie didn't even play.
Guys like Anthony Davis played the entire season, and now he's out. LeBron James is all banged up, from the season that he's had. I mean, all these teams have been hit.
They have, but so this is again, you're Danny Ainge right now. Do you?
Danny Ainge wants to run it back.
Do you try? I'm not saying run it back. Do you right now have more faith? Do you go out there and continue to try to get more players, or do you say, I'm rolling with Rob and Romeo and Neesmith and the Jays and whatever I'm stuck with that I can't trade? Or are you saying, I'm going to move all of these guys for whatever the hell I can get for him to get more professional basketball players in here? Which one are you doing?
He's addressing that point guard position,
I'm saying, but what do you do right now? Like, if you find a name out there, do you push all of the picks? Do you push your pick and the two and Romeo and Neesmith into the middle and just say, whoever wants him and is willing to give me a decent basketball player in return, I'll take him because I need more decent basketball players? Or are you rolling the dice that these guys might have something in them? Because like I said, they made the mistake. And they didn't give up assets, but you signed Tristan. You made the mistake with Rob already, which is not realizing you had something. I don't know whether or not they know if they have something in these guys and whether they want to try to develop them or screw it. If anybody, because to me, it's a sell low. Who out there thinks these guys have value? I don't think anybody. I think you internally have to say, Romeo's going to be a really friggin' good ball player, and they don't know it yet. So if I trade him, that's bad. But I know it deep down. And if you know it, then that should govern your decisions, not what the fans necessarily want to do. If they have to trust their conviction. These guys are ball players. I believe it. I've seen it. They're going to be really good, and we're coming back with these guys, and we're gonna, I don't know.
But what about based on what you know about players, not what you think might happen? If they can acquire a talented veteran, whether it's at the point guard position or wherever, that doesn't get in the way of Tatum and Brown, then I'm way more inclined to trade some of these younger guys that have shown like a little promise here or there. Because, again, you have a team that is one or two guys away from really being a title contender when you consider that it's the NBA and other, yes, are there better teams talent-wise than the Celtics right now? Absolutely. But injuries happen all the time, and you always, as a GM, I think you got to do your best to put your team in a position to win. That doesn't mean you go into the season with the best roster, but in a long 82-game season, anything could happen. And if you put the right players around, sums up 21, Jimmy, what does that mean? If you put the best players around...
What does it mean? You're the one friggin' watching another basketball game instead of focusing on this show. So
sun's up. Sun's up. No, I read that.
Someone's giving you an update.
I thought it said sums up.
You're the one that...
I thought you said sums up. Like, this sums me up. Like, what? Anyways, I'm a little on edge right now. But what I was saying was, if you can get the right veteran to pair with a couple of young guys like Tatum and Brown, the right veteran who's not afraid to lead by example or lead, with his voice and might be a little tougher and might be in your face. If that guy is out there, I'm definitely willing to part with a couple of young guys. If he's not, then I'm not trying to sell all the picks and everything like that, just so you can put a roster together.
All right. Let's add some noise here. Josue, did you trim up, by the way? You're looking you're looking tight there.
I did. Listen,
Memorial Day trim?
Yeah.
My guy finally decided to come back. I don't know if he went to the Dominican Republic on a one-way trip ticket, but he finally came back. My barber came back, and I did what I had to do.
You look tight. I like it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's almost as short as Sherrod's.
Almost as short as Sherrod's.
Not quite.
Not quite. What's up, Sherrod?
Not quite.
I swear, day one, Sherrod walked into the building at NBC. He had a little bit of hair.
No.
Not even a lick?
Not even. I mean, we're talking scorched earth. Scorched
when did you come on home? As Kenny Smith like to tell LeBron James, come on home, brother. Come on home.
Sherrod, you know who you need to talk to? Fournier. You need to talk to Fournier.
You got to tell him.
Oh, man.
I'm trying. Just come on over. Come on over.
I texted during the game when we were talking about whether we want Fournier back next year. I was like, I don't think I can look at that man's head for 3 more years. Like,
for $20 million? Nah, probably not.
Right.
This was a weird
I'll give him
game,
we give him $2 extra million to just go all the way.
No, yep. He's gonna get a deal with one of those hair.
The best electric blade in the world. We'll
$18 million without the cut, $20 million.
$20 million with it, right? Exactly.
Yep. Oh man.
What's good with you, man?
Anyway, Sherrod, you get we've been once around the world, so we can go anywhere you want to go here. Your thoughts, game, series, anything? What sticks out to you here? What are your lasting impressions?
Frustrated because the effort that you saw in this series, we didn't see with any kind of consistency throughout the season. If they would have played with this kind of effort, they would have been a 6th seed. They were or potentially the 5th seed, which seems to be. I mean, it's frustrating watching them play because even though they didn't have the talent to play with Brooklyn, they competed, and that's all you really want. That's all we want is to compete. There's some. I do like what I saw from Nesmith. I like what I saw from Romy. Romy looked pretty damn good.
I waited.
Look at Sherrod giving him a nickname, Romy.
I've been
Romy
waiting.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Romy.
That's when you know you balling.
It was just good to see him play.
That's such a Langford.
See, I'm beyond just seeing guys play. I need to see guys play effectively. Listen. There's enough moral victories out there for this damn team. Guys just showing up. Romy actually played pretty good. I thought he did some really positive things. I think Nesmith seems to be getting better and better. Pritchard was looking for a shot a little bit more than I think he's in some past games.
Let the kids play. Yeah.
The kids played well.
John, the season's over.
No, but that's
he's been saying that all year, though. He's been saying it all year.
I'm saying
he's gonna go down swinging.
Next year, to me, next year to me is a tweener year. You have some times where you've got no talent on your team, so you let the kids play and develop to see what you have in them. The Celtics have talent, and then they have kids and a gulf in the middle. I'm saying do both at the same time. Let Tatum and Brown run out there with the kids and let it be a big sloppy mess, but turn into something before the year is over. I want to see more. I want to see more.
Here's the thing about letting the kids play. Not only does it help develop them skills that they can potentially help you, but if we're being honest,
it makes them assets.
Exactly. I mean, when you think
that's
about
what
Al
I said
Jefferson,
all year.
You think about
you
Al
can't
Jefferson
trade these guys
and
if you
all
don't
those
play
guys.
them. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, just imagine if you would have decided to play Perk and not play Al Jefferson, you wouldn't have gotten KG. You played the young kids. You played like Delonte and all those young guys who probably weren't ready to play major minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you get them out there. You show that you let folks see that they have some promise, and then you move them for a major asset.
Yeah.
When I look at the offseason, when I look at this offseason, I mean, the guy that I look at, and again, I think he'd be a good fit just because of the sheer talent, is Karl Anthony Towns. He's a guy that wants out. You know he wants to be out. And if you're the Celtics, I'm having a conversation.
We've all got our binkies. You got Cat. I got Lonzo. Jimmy, I don't know who you got. You Beal? Is it still Beal?
Don't do it, Jimmy.
First of all, I've also been a Lonzo guy, but I'm on the Lowry train right now. I want the proven veteran.
That's my guy.
Is that your guy? Oh, okay. Well, then you know what? I want what dealer's choice.
I want what he's having. Look at Jimmy.
Yeah, spin the wheel and wherever it falls.
You guys can go halvesies.
Let me get a shot of what he's having.
Yeah. Don't look at my plate. Don't look at my plate, man.
I want Donovan Mitchell. I want Donovan Mitchell. Figure out a way to get him.
We'll do this family style.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, him and Jaylen Brown, they got really. It looked like they were really best buddies in the bubble. So bring in Mitchell instead of going with Tatum's best friend. Let's go with one of Brown's buddies instead. How about that?
But from a fan perspective, if you're a team, if you're a team that you think your team is championship contender, you want to see them contend for a championship. You want to see wins. You want to see instant results. If you think, I don't think no matter what the Celtics do next year, I don't know that they walk in with a realistic chance at winning a title next year. So what's the other thing fans like to see? Promise, hope. You want to see it. Those years when they go backwards and you're like, okay, let's just see what they got. Those can be fun years where you're like,
John, this isn't the squad, man. You're not going to be preaching to this choir. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you think they know about struggling? They haven't had a look at that.
They just did it.
This is it.
Whole season
this was it.
This
was it.
What I'm saying is,
they never even missed the postseason, man. They walked into
this
a great winning
season was
situation.
a damn struggle.
It was a struggle, but the last thing they want to do is take another step back. I'm telling you,
it's not a step back.
They're going to look at it as a step back for sure, though. They have to. Because of their experience, they're going to look at it that way. Are you saying
if
they don't know about rebuilding?
No, we don't want. I don't think we want that. I mean,
it's not a rebuild. I'm saying instead of a bunch of patchwork Band-Aid veterans that you're going to slap in there to kind of keep the ship afloat and keep you at a 4-5 seed level, let Tatum and Brown go out there and lead a younger roster of kids, developing them into what you're hoping is how do you become – I'm not saying they've got Golden State talent here, but how do you become one of these teams?
I was just thinking
you got your stars – and you've got the guys who are going to be stars that you're paying cheaper deals earlier in their life and they're controllable. And that's what you got. You don't get it by throwing $20 million at Evan Fournier and $20 million at Marcus Smart.
You're talking about the Harrison Barnes and the other guys.
You need to build from the bottom up while also having guys who have already kind of been through these. You want that homegrown talent. You want people on, controllable contracts. You need talent that's cheap and homegrown, and you need talent that's established that you already have. You need that mix there. And so I say roll the dice and see what you have in it if you can. It's not necessarily a step back as much as an investment in your future, as opposed to just saying, let's just see if we can be a little bit better next year. I don't know what advantage you have in that. You go big or go home. I'd rather, if they can't go big with a deal, and like I said, shove all the chips in the middle, convince somebody that 3 first-round picks, Nesmith, Romeo, and all of that stuff are worth Cat or Beal or something. If you can't do that, let those guys play and start to clear out other people and and create space for them to play and develop and grow. Hopefully next year and beyond. That's what I'd like to see.
To me, the big thing with this Celtics team, they got to do what they did in this playoff series and compete, man. I mean, we can talk about this player, Cat, Lowry, Lonzo, all that. But if they don't show up and compete, folks are just going to be like, forget them.
Right.
We don't care about them. And to me, they need guys who are going to come in here who are thirsty, not hungry, thirsty to play basketball. You need guys who I think have been dogged out a bit. You need guys who are going to come in here looking for a fresh, clean slate. And to me, when you look at what Danny Ainge has been able to do, the best deals he's been able to make, he is able to take damaged properties off of the hands of teams and give them a new light. I mean, think about it. When Ray Allen was in Seattle, that franchise was they were trying to clean house. That's how they were able to get Ray. Minnesota, Kevin was getting sick and tired of, at best getting to be in the 7th seed. He wanted out. And when the Celtics were finally able to convince him, and Chauncey Billups was able to throw in an assist to help convince him, again, the only reason he was available was because he wanted out of that situation. They're going to need to hit that type of home run. That is the blueprint that Danny has used before. That's the blueprint that's going to work. Hell, you look at Gordon Hayward. You look at when they got Al Horford. Same situation. Al was sick and tired of Atlanta just being a 4 or 5 type team. Gordon Hayward knew Utah, they weren't going to go anywhere with him leading the way. So he decided to jump ship, and he got big money in the process. They're going to need to hit home runs like that where guys are in situations that are either less than ideal or they totally suck. That is the blueprint for them.
Okay, here's a question for you then. Is the Celtics situation even something that those types of players would even want to consider right now?
Right now? No.
Yeah, right now.
But could that change in the course of this summer? Perhaps. I mean, I know that Karl Anthony Towns is not exactly that tough guy that we want this team to have.
That's the issue, I think.
But here's the thing. He's a 25-12 3 softy. I will take that kind of softness every day, because if you're able to get that type of production, that's going to make up for a lot of what you lack in terms of physical toughness and grime. And if we're being honest and real, and I don't think I'm the only one that saw this, Tatum became a different player in this series. There was something about him that flipped, where he doesn't look nearly as kind of easygoing, laid back as we've seen him throughout the season and throughout his time in Boston. He played with a different kind of edge in these last 2 or 3 games.
I think also
to me it was after game one. After game one, it was a different approach. I mean,
I'm really eager to see what we're going to see out of him at the start of next season. Can he build off of this? Will he come into the season with that little nasty edge that we started seeing little bits and pieces of, but we saw more consistently? Or is he going to go back to being a guy that we've been just frustrated?
No, I think you're going to see the other direction, Sherrod. And we started with this. I just think when you drop 50 on Kevin Durant, like that's the way.
It's like he found a cheat code.
Exactly. He's unlocked now.
Can we caution? I just want to caution one thing: is he had legit nothing to. This was a consequence-free environment for him. He had nothing to lose.
But there was a lot of storylines in this one.
Yeah, but still, there's nothing to lose. There's no Jalen. Then Kemba goes down.
You don't think there was pressure though after game one?
I'm saying he was it. And so you can just let it fly, because who the hell else is going to?
True, but he responded to the pressure though. That's true. But at least he responded to the pressure.
He had to do
against these guys. Against 3 future Hall of Famers. Probably the 3 of the best scorers I'd probably ever seen.
He was the only guy that Brooklyn had to worry about, and he still hit him for the 50-piece, and then followed that up with a 40-piece. And he was the only guy that Brooklyn had to really worry about, and they still couldn't stop him.
Yeah,
he went to the line 17 times.
That's
17.
This is the key. When everyone talks about what are the Celtics going to do, nothing if Tatum turns into a top 5 player and Brown turns into a top 10 player or top 15 player. You don't do anything. You literally grab 3 guys off the street and put them in the lineup, and you're in the finals every year. Like, if you have 2 guys who are 2 of the best players. So if Tatum elevates to an unstoppable force on offense, that's they go as far as these guys go. We've said this all year. If these guys are upper echelon, all NBA first team, second team players, then they're fine. You could fill with a lot of different things. Then you really start to just worry about the right role players around them, and you're not worried about third option talent, fourth option talent. You need Danny Green. You need those guys who do
jobs.
Yeah,
but John, but we are worried about that because we're not quite sure these two can make their teammates enhance their guys. Let's
right.
face
And
it.
If he does that cheat code,
that's
and
the
he
only
becomes
reason we're talking about this ideal third veteran to come in here and help, what do you call it, finesse this thing or facilitate rather, this star.
Right.
I don't know, clash or whatever between the two.
I don't think the
Maybe
four
it's
of
not
us
a
are going
clash,
to.
but you know what I mean.
The four of us aren't going to figure this out, but the five of us might.
Yes, more brain power.
There he is.
Is that
There
a
he
new
is with the
Chance the
three.
Rapper hat?
He
With the
is.
new Chance the Rapper hat. Here you go.
Look at that, man.
Right off the plane.
Here I am to solve
everybody.
all the problems. I
But
got all the answers here.
The five of us could figure this out right now.
Yo, let's all put our heads together.
Yeah.
Here we
I'm about to go
go.
to the bathroom.
Let's fix this team.
Yeah, John
Yeah.
and Bobby usually can agree pretty quickly on things, so this should be good. Let's
So
figure this out.
We got a full starting five.
I've been
There you
thinking
go.
about. I spent the
wild.
whole night meditating over this team's future and the possible directions they can go.
Good.
Where Lil
And I've
Cornette
come-
fits in all of this, I know.
Bobby's about to
I know.
get deep.
Well,
Yeah.
I did get to him by the end of it, but no, I focused on Kemba. I focused on Fournier first. There's a lot of different things you can do, but unfortunately, and people aren't going to like this, I think the best thing you can do is bring it all back. I think
Take
you
him off.
have to.
John, get him off the show.
I think that's the only way.
I'm
Bobby's
team running
leaving.
back.
Ooh, this
I'm team running
man.
back.
Well, I mean, it's not like they have a lot of options. I mean,
Right.
it's not like
Yeah.
because I mean, Bobby. I mean, check me on this, but the portion of the Gordon Hayward TPE, that's like the biggest chip they have, I think, at this point, right?
Yeah, and
As
even
far as-
that's difficult because you got to
Right.
give stuff up to get something. Like, let's think of the
Exactly.
guys that fall into that. Larry Nance, mostly bench players. It's about 11 million.
People are screaming for your expulsion already.
Yeah, all right, never mind. Trade Smart, trade Kemba. All right, so where do you want to start in terms of these
He's like, I
guys?
take it back. I take it all back.
I'm folding to the audience. So quickly, I think Smart could be a guy who ends up going. I think it's possible, but as John said, there you need like a bona fide upgrade there, and
It better
you'd
be
have to-
Lonzo.
To me, you'd have to package in Thompson in there somehow to like make
Yeah.
salaries work. And all
Now
those
we're
different
talking.
things. Yeah,
Okay.
so like that's
Now
probably the
Bobby
works.
is coming. He's back off the island. Welcome, Bobby. Welcome.
that's probably the only way you
He's
can go
doing
in
numbers
terms
right
of
now.
upgrades.
He's doing numbers. That's what.
But the biggest question they're going to have to answer is, do they want to give themselves that flexibility sooner by getting rid of Kemba, kind of eating next season, and then giving away a couple picks and opportunities to pick in the draft down the line so you can have that flexibility in 2023, kind of toss next season out the window? That's going to be difficult to do. That might end up being the best move in terms of like the future, as John talks about here. But unfortunately, I do think the rush to
Let
win.
the kids play. Wait till Kemba's contract expired.
That's hard though,
And
John,
then
because you
Hayden
never
and
know
Brown
if it's going to
both
come
ask
around.
for a trade.
Yeah.
By then,
That's a
you've
risk.
had the same fear,
It's that
John.
extra year that Kemba.
That's
Kemba
a
has on his
risk.
contract, man.
But I don't, like I said, is if the
If Kemba was expiring
alternative,
now, be different.
if the alternative is mediocrity, I don't know that you're that much worse doing that.
But how can they, John, how could they sell trading Fournier for a TPE, dumping Kemba with 2 first-round picks, making little to no additions this offseason, coming back probably not as a playoff team next year? Like, how could you sell that to Boston? I mean, people would be like outside TD Garden with like flaming sticks and pitchforks and all that stuff. Like, it's just
We
impossible.
said that to you. We said that to you at the trade deadline.
Has
Bobby.
anyone-
we said the
has-
same thing.
Has anyone seen the ratings? People stopped caring a long time ago. Sorry. Yeah,
Ooh,
They
shots
did.
fired.
they
Yeah,
did.
for real.
I like it.
I'm not kidding, man. The Bruins
No,
have
they
been
were really bad,
the
yeah.
Bruins have been trouncing them like 2
The
to
Bruins
1.
was a great game last
2.5 to 1 in the ratings from the end of the season all the way through. This is a team that's been a dead ass team for a while. I don't think it's as bad as you make it out to be. Right. You can't completely clear it out. You can't trade Smart, trade Kemba, come back out here with Pritchard as your starting point guard and then hope that you can whatever. You can't burn it all to the ground, but you can. Look, you're stuck with Kemba, so just live with it. That's it. Kemba's here. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Done. So he is what he is. You'd be better building a team that had Kemba Walker coming off the bench. And
Derrick
that's
Rose vibes.
So which means
big Derrick Rose vibes.
Which means you need a real point guard. So that's something that you have to figure out what you're doing in the offseason. So if you can get that, and again, I'm going to keep going to my Lonzo pipe dream, but you got to find something. You got to find a way to do that.
The couple guys will be Lonzo, of course, and then you have to you do have to keep an eye on
Marcus.
Indiana as they try to cut costs, as they
You're not looking at
Brogdon.
I don't want Oladipo. Dude.
No,
he's in Miami. He's in Miami.
Not a good one.
Give me
He's
Brogdon.
Miami.
Brogdon's not going anywhere.
No,
he's phenomenal.
I'm thinking about
really
Brogdon.
like him, man.
Brogdon. Looking back, if Danny signed Brogdon over Kemba, oh man, we're probably looking at a completely different team right now.
Yep. I remember he was considered like a concept.
He hasn't been healthy either.
Yeah.
You know,
I love Brogdon.
Talented,
Me too.
Especially
Stevens.
At some point in time, people have to stop saying John Wall. Like, just stop suggesting it.
Someone said that. Oh, boy.
You get it all the time.
One bad contract for another.
That's how you get rid of Kemba, but it's not good for Boston.
It's horrible for Boston.
Horrible. The whole Bradley Beal put the John Wall thing to bed. You know. Yeah, Celtics fans still want Beal. That's still out there.
So the decision the team's going to have to make this offseason is, do they want to keep going all in on competing at the highest level right now with Brooklyn and Philly, Milwaukee? Is that even possible right now? Or do you look ahead to 2023, that offseason? That's the Bradley Beal offseason, right? Or the one right after it ends up coming up to that? And do you just have your books?
It's 22 is the Beal offseason.
All right, so after next season.
Yes.
Do you have your books clear for that situation? You'd have to move Kemba in that sense to have that max slot available in that situation. You would have to pass up on Fournier in that spot. That seems like the kind of thing that the Celtics would do, but I just think it's going to be such a hard sell. I think we've seen the Celtics shift to making those like hard, difficult decisions to kind of bowing to the need to compete and put a product on the floor right now. We saw that at the deadline. We saw that with the Hayward situation over the offseason. I think they're going to try to run this back and hope for the best. And these are the things we talk about, John. Like, there's no perfect solution here. You just kind of have to get lucky whichever path you choose, because I think they're all kind of equal.
If you felt good that Tatum and Brown were here for the long haul, then you could operate differently, because like they're 23. You're not running out. Like when you have guys under contract and you're worried about burning through their prime for 2 more years and spinning your wheels and not going anywhere, you're like, I'm burning their best years. But you're not in this case. You're actually still entering their prime. I don't think it's too much to ask for a kind of like half a step back year to get yourself right, give yourself some flexibility to go big in an off season or two, while also developing current players on your team. If you knew that they were here, if you knew that you had commitments and they're like, yeah, man, let's do this thing. Let's do the. If they were in on the plan, guys, we're going to do this year because we're going to go all in on Bradley Beal in a year or so, and that's where we are. Are we good? If you felt good, then you can do that. If you're worried, legit, that you've got to appease them, if they're the guys who are literally like, well, we got to be better next year, man, or I'm going to start thinking of asking my way out, that's a different story. I don't know where they stand in their relationship with these guys. If you feel really good that they're Celtics to stay, you have a little bit more flex.
Yeah, but I think the sooner that you can involve them in a process, the better your chances are for them to be happy and want to stay. Don't go into this offseason and make some decisions and have Tatum find it out on his
No, you have to involve them.
You have to. And that doesn't mean that you're going to do exactly what they want you to do.
Just make them feel like they're part of the process.
Yes,
yeah.
that's almost a huge thing.
Almost every issue between front office and franchise players involves the front office.
Look at what's going on with Rodgers right now.
Exactly. Yeah. If you just let them in on what the hell you're thinking, because they may have an idea that you hadn't even thought about as a front office exec, that you're like, wait a minute, you think we might be able to get Donovan Mitchell? Really? He wants to play here? No. You just don't know.
I would have a meeting at the end of the year. Danny, Brad, Jalen, Jason, what do we need to be better right now? Be honest. Maybe Brad's not even in it. Just Jalen and Jason.
Brad's pacing outside the door again.
That's my prediction.
He's got a cup to the door.
That's wrong.
No, but for real, I would literally, what do we need more than anything right now? Because the answer could be a new coach. The answer could be, if you want honesty, you got to talk to we need a pass first point guard. We need, whatever. They might say, what we need to do is play Romeo and play this guy because I think we got. They might say that. They might be like, let these freaking guys play, and we got to start. Robbie's got to play 25, 30 minutes a game. We got to stop dicking around here. That might be what they say.
And then that would open up a dialogue as to how they felt about this past season. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's the obvious?
And involve them, yeah.
The obvious thing, and this is a minor thing, this isn't going to shift the direction for next year, but you have to move on from quite a bit of the bottom of this roster. Grant,
it's easy to do,
Waters, Taco. Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do.
That's what we said in the beginning.
You missed the beginning, Bobby. John's talking about most of these guys aren't even professional athletes.
Chop them off and send them overseas.
He said that.
Wow. It's a very easy place. You're going at about 7, 8, 9 blank cut. See you guys later, and you're just shoving all of these guys off the boat. Gone.
Damn.
I know Tremont. Tremont Waters fucked up. It's messed up, man.
So you want second chance guys. You want veterans. You want overseas guys.
As Sherrod said, you want guys who are like, you
want this team to become older, because we saw in this series, especially when you got down to that portion of the roster, game 4, they were competing so well. And then they just get to that rotation with Grant and all those guys, and it just completely fell off the map. Pritchard,
I would love
Pritchard
to have
wasn't
a guy,
quite ready for this.
Yeah.
No.
Like add a guy like Mike James, someone that literally just gets off the damn plane and makes an impact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
find your next Tice.
Exactly. I mean, you need guys who can hit the
just bring back Tice.
I don't think they can do that, but I would love it.
It won't happen, but won't happen. But man, it'd be nice to have Tice back.
I don't know why it won't happen. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. But
I think there's a rule there, but I gotta double check it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So yeah. We might be, we have a whole offseason to talk about it. It is interesting because what we don't know is anybody's mindset right now. Like, you don't know what Tatum's thinking. You don't know what Jalen's thinking. You don't know, like, what Danny, what Wick, what's going on up there. They might be
nothing.
Like, everything Danny has said makes it sound like it's team run it back. But Is Wick on board with that? What if Wick is like, you're not running that back? I don't know.
Yeah, but
what if the players walk into the office and they're like, we can't friggin' do this again?
I don't think Wick's saying that, man, because that would imply that he's got to open up his wallet a bit. No, loosen up the purse strings. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I think if you're Danny Ainge, you're gonna that's not good for business if you're saying that. Oh, this team isn't it, guys. Because wait a minute, all the injuries you had, all the COVID problems, the quick turnaround, 4 or 5 games a week. Everything that happened throughout the course of the season, you mean to tell me that wasn't it? You know what I mean? It'll look really bad if Danny goes to Wick or vice versa, and it's like, hey, I don't care. I don't believe in this roster as a whole, regardless of all the hurdles that you guys had to cross or you guys had to jump. I still don't believe in this roster. Then Danny's in a really tough spot. Then Wick is really mad, and I think if that's the kind of conversation they're having, then that means Danny is on thin ice, so to speak, right?
As we were talking about it, I just got a Jason Tatum quote. Jason Tatum on the Celtics offseason. Yeah, Jason Tatum on the Celtics offseason talking about if he has any ideas or input, and he says, "I'm sure I could make some suggestions. I don't know. I kind of feel like everybody has their job, and I think my job is to show up and play basketball, not to suggest trades or who to bring in, who to let go. It's not what I do." Okay, so I guess Jason doesn't want to be part of the process.
It's a good answer, to be honest.
He's like, man, I just balled out this series. What do you want from me right now?
You're like, look, I dropped a 50 piece the other night, but the 40 piece after the
His job is to score buckets.
I mean, damn.
Danny Ainge's job is to make that easier for him to do.
Can we talk about something else? Like, geez. No, I know. No, it's a fair question, but yeah, I mean, what's he supposed to say?
I think that's going to change. I think that's how he's feeling right now in the moment. But I think at some point between now and free agency, I think that's going to change. And it may not be Tatum directly connecting with Danny. It could be his agent saying, well, if you want to keep him happy, you might want to talk to this player.
He likes Skittles. No, I'm just saying. I don't know.
I was like, wait, what? Really?
I don't know. Right. But yeah, no, you're right, Sherrod. It might not be exactly
he gave
that.
the PC response. That was, he did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, he gave the response that you're supposed to give.
Yeah.
That's true.
Plus, he's on the defense.
But
he's on the defense. The beat is feisty right now, man. Celtics beat, man, they're coming in hot.
Oh, are they? They're
Yeah.
feisty?
A little bit. A little bit.
Anyone say anything about the logo stomp tonight?
I told you
The ship has sailed, man.
Brad,
they had their
Brad
chance.
Stevens, he
I know.
side-skipped that question from Gary Walsh.
They had their chance to say something.
He went 2 for 3,
something.
or 1 for 2, something like that.
On his questions, yeah.
Yeah, 2-part question.
I'm scrolling Twitter. It's all the same Tatum stuff right now.
No,
How about this Kyrie
quote?
quote? How about this Kyrie quote that fan of the show sent us? I hope I don't pronounce her name wrong, but it's Haya. Kyrie Irving, we're uniting the whole world with this championship run.
I love that one.
So I hope everybody is with us. We're uniting the whole world with this run. Stick with us, baby.
Who said that?
Kyrie.
Who's saying this?
No.
Swear. I mean, this is what the quote is.
No.
Yeah.
Is Boston?
They're
is
uniting
Boston
the
in this
whole
era?
world with this run. The whole world is with the Nets. They all want the Nets to win. I
God
don't
is
know
a-
anybody
God
outside
is a
of
Nets
Brooklyn
fan. God
who
is a
wants the
Nets
Nets to
fan.
win. And I bet
can't
people
wait
in
till this
Brooklyn
Bucks
don't want the
series
Nets
gets
to win. They
started.
would rather have the Knicks win. I don't even know if
I
Brooklyn's
thought
with
he
the
was
Nets.
gonna. I thought they're embracing the villain role. No one
I
wants to see us
definitely
win.
want-
I like that. I like that attitude. No one wants to see us win.
Yeah,
and we're
that's
gonna do
the
it anyways.
truth.
Yeah,
I definitely
can't
want
wait
to
for
see
the
the
Bucks.
Bucks
Embrace
beat them
that.
more than I wanted to see the Celtics beat them.
Oh goodness. PJ Tucker. Yes.
That might be-
Giannis. Yes.
That
They
is gonna
might-
be
they might have the
Holiday,
best.
grueling
They might have the best
series.
crack at it.
Lopez.
Jesus,
Yes.
I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen with Joel Embiid. That's a terrible hit.
Well, they've got the guys to match up, the longer guys who can switch up on defense there, and give them more problems for sure. Holiday, Middleton's long, obviously Giannis. Like they've got the length, they've got the people that can kind of
they
get
got a
out.
guy for every.
They got a guy
of the stars.
everywhere that can get out on those guys. So the matchups are totally freaking different there. Totally
got
different.
depth too. They
Yeah.
got shooters off the bench. Yeah, they got depth.
Yeah, the Nets are in trouble. The Nets are in trouble to me.
So?
Yo, how could you
I
say
don't
that
know
though?
about that.
Like, how
I
could
don't
you?
know about
Right?
that.
Like this. I've never seen like you compare it to the Golden State Warriors teams in some sort of way.
See,
and it's just
They're
like,
not, though.
No,
There's a key
They're not.
difference.
the scoring,
Golden-
the scoring
Definitely
product
not.
is scarier. It's scary
because they don't defend. They don't have anyone on that Brooklyn team
I
that you
know,
look
but
at
it's like-
as a average defender. They're playing solid team defense, but their defense is fueled by their offense because
Right.
they're such an elite.
It's like D'Antoni's dream. It's like a fantasy for Mike D'Antoni. Like that was the
Yeah,
kind of
but-
offense he wish he had. Like these guys are combining for over 100 points. Like there's some teams that barely can average that throughout the course of a season, and these three guys are doing it with ease, scoring 100 points like it's nothing. Light work.
Yeah, it looked easy for the
incredible.
Celtics to score too, though, and that's why the series seemed to be as competitive as it was quarter by quarter. The
It was a
Celtics,
trap.
even tonight, like right up until the 5-minute mark of that fourth quarter, they were within 8 the
Nah.
whole way because they can just score with ease.
Game 4, yes, they almost scored 130. I'm shocked that the Celtics were able to do that. Yeah, to your point, yeah. But tonight, when they wanted to shut you down, they shut the Celtics down.
I feel
Yeah, I
almost
don't-
at any
Three
point in
straight
time,
threes,
anytime
three
Brooklyn
defensive
wanted to
stops,
pull
see you
ahead by,
later.
yeah,
Exactly. Whenever they wanted to, like it was like they were
whenever they
toying with
wanted to, they could have had it.
I know, but
Yeah.
this is Romeo and Tristan Thompson and Evan Fournier coming at you. You're about to have to defend Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. Good luck with Blake Griffin getting switched on those guys.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
That's the one.
So you
That's
think
the
those
one.
three guys can score over 100 points in a game? I don't see that happening.
The
But
Bucks are
again,
monstrous
the
offense.
defensive firepower, right? But guys off the bench shooting the 3-point shooting, that's something they have to rely on. The Brooklyn
And
Nets is these three guys, and then when Joey Harris wants to jump in there, he does his thing too. Like they got weapons too off their bench. I don't know. I don't.
Harris has been a beast.
Milwaukee's got a good shot, but I still have my heart set on seeing this matchup between the Sixers and the Nets, and hopefully we get what I want, which is of course a healthy Joel Embiid. But I don't know if that's even possible.
Well, I hope it is, 'cause otherwise it'll be a quick series if the Sixers get there.
It will.
But
I know.
the Bucks will give them. The Bucks will definitely give them trouble. I
think we
the
get
Bucks
7 here,
definitely
yeah.
will give them trouble. But I'm still taking the Nets.
Yeah, but this is
over them. In
Difference between
series.
give trouble and the Nets are in trouble. I thought that was a force. I don't know.
Yes, I think you're right. I would agree.
In
there.
trouble?
That's
No, I don't think they're in trouble at all.
It's-
but-
I didn't say in trouble.
oh, Bobby did.
I said give.
I
Trouble.
think
No,
they're in trouble. Not necessarily in terms of the series. If they won in 7, that wouldn't surprise me. I'd be surprised if they blew through the Bucks. But I'm talking in trouble in terms of their championship hopes. I think they got a tough path, and it's really about to ramp up right Saturday. Like Saturday, there you go. It's 0 to 100 from that Celtics team to that Bucks team, and then you get the Sixers, and then you get, whatever the best of the West ultimately is. It's going to be a grueling path. And Sherrod, champions defend. All your time covering in the year. Has a champion ever not defended?
No.
It's a different league.
You don't have to have elite across the board, dominant defensive.
Those Golden State teams.
You have to have a certain level of defensive DNA in you to win a championship. And I'm not sold that Brooklyn has that. I'm not sold that they have that.
You don't think they'll play defense when they need to?
I think it's a new day.
I thought they could have, Jimmy. I just didn't see it in the series.
When did they
teams are averaging $120 nowadays, man.
That's why this Milwaukee Bucks series is so important, because they're going to have to play defense to win that series. They're going to have more than just 60 seconds, 90 seconds, a minute here, a minute there. They're actually going to have to defend, because when you've got Giannis coming at you, when you've got Holiday who can defend, can play both ends of the floor at an elite level, you got Chris Middleton, who's not just a catch and shoot guy anymore. He's actually attacking folks off the dribble, making plays for others. This is a very
they swept
different
the Heat.
kind of, and they swept the Heat with light work. I mean, that was light work. It wasn't. I mean, they weren't even threatened by Miami at all. I mean, they beat the snot out of them.
I just can't get over how fresh these guys look, man. Kyrie, Harden, Durant. Again, I think this is
Harden worries me.
That's a big part of this, man. Mm-hmm. These guys are fresh. I mean, I just think a lot of these guys are sort of towards the finish line, and right now they're in cruise control. It's just like, look out. This offense is incredible.
The burst Harden showed tonight was impressive. Like
Harden
first
and Durant,
he was walking to the rim.
Ability to, when they want to, they can just pour in 19 points in a quarter and be like, see you later. Like, that's just, have two of those guys. I don't know. It's tough.
The key with them is just maximizing the mismatch. Blake Griffin can't guard a soul. He's horrible. Can't guard a dead tick.
I am shocked at how I love
the way the Suns leads up to 30. By the way, they're balling out. Wow,
that's where this postseason really gets thrown for a loop.
I don't think Phoenix looks that
down out here.
I don't think Phoenix looks all that scary, Bobby, to the Brooklyn Nets, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. We'll see.
Yeah, who's listening to post game right now?
I'm gonna get Jimmy Toscano.
I was listening to Kyrie was just.
I do want to give while we stay on the NBA for one more second. I do want to give Sherrod credit now that this postseason has really gotten crazy here. The Utah Jazz are now second in betting odds for the NBA title. That path is lightening up for them a little bit.
What they did the other night, I mean, Gobert was a non-factor in the first half, and then the second half he just absolutely took over. And that's a guy that I'd never count on him to give me anything offensively, and yet he was just killing it. They're good, man. I mean, they are really
slept
good
on right now.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're good. Jimmy, I have this Kyrie clip. I'm going to play it for everybody here.
I just texted it to you.
I don't know if it's the same one, but this is one I got on Kyrie talking about Boston.
I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had in Boston. I'm grateful for a lot of the support that I had post leaving there. Obviously it wasn't the easiest transition to deal with. There's a lot going on personally while I was there in Boston that not a lot of people don't know about. So to see kind of the emotions that were lingering on for the past year and a half between that, I'm just glad.
What happened? It got cut off.
That was
Joe Sway.
He said it's settled.
Joe Sway clearly passed out. He passed out all over that. Obviously.
That kind of got cut off in the beginning. Was he thanking Boston?
He's grateful for the opportunity.
Grateful for the opportunity. Stuff happened. Let's leave it ambiguous again so everyone can guess what that means. And now glad it's over. I don't know what's over necessarily. But I don't know.
We've only just begun, bud.
Oh, It
ain't over.
You've not seen The Last of Us. Yeah.
Jimmy's that annoying kid hanging onto your ankle. You're not leaving. This is not over.
Does Joe Sway know we're still doing a show? I didn't hear no bell.
Joe Sway slid out of his chair during that interview.
Joe Sway, this isn't how we do things here.
Is that the Cam Newton slide right there? Just
yeah, exactly. That's what that is.
Hi, Joe Sway. Welcome back.
Hey, there he is. What'd you think of that quote, Joe Sway? He
It's a
didn't
pop
even have his
quiz.
audio on.
Oh, he's gone.
He thought that he had shut his camera off that whole time.
Yes, he did. We're glad that's all it was, right?
Yeah.
Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been so much worse.
Could have been a lot.
So here's what we're gonna do. We don't normally do this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to locker room, but we're all gonna go together. Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
As a family?
As a family, because it's the last show. So we're all gonna head over there together in a little bit, and we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna welcome Josue back in first, hopefully soon.
Let's get his take on what you said.
Josue, what the hell are you doing, man?
His audio.
No, you can't. Oh, come on, bro. We needed a Brockton Wi-Fi moment. No one can hear you. You're flapping your lips, and there's no audio.
Can't hear him.
Yeah, I know.
Can't hear him. Before we couldn't see him.
Yeah,
he was
this is
invisible
great.
before.
We're trying to say goodbye here, buddy.
Yeah, goodbye, Josue.
He's strong. Hey, we all did this. We've all been in it since the bubble too. He's puttering to the finish line.
Oh boy.
Okay, so now
locker room.
He's back, but
it.
there. Oh, here he comes.
Oh,
Still
now his
don't-
voice is gone. Oh, yeah, he's
Still
gone.
don't hear. Can't hear you, bro.
I almost
Can't
feel
hear
bad
you.
for him if I didn't find this funny.
Oh, I don't feel bad.
No, I absolutely don't feel bad for
I feel
Josue
great.
at all.
This was self-inflicted, right?
This was. He went to improve things. Here he is. Look at him. He's so embarrassed. Like it's so hard to look
like,
at
what?
him right now.
You're gonna have to write it out and say, "Hey, see you guys later. Thanks for watching."
Josue ended the season the way he started it.
Brockton, exactly.
Yeah, it's the Brockton Wi-Fi. He'll see us on Locker Room. He's saying, "All right, so I want to say, oh yeah, did he leave?
Josue.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna head in. We have the links. Ahmed, can you email it to Sherrod if you haven't already? So he has it as well. But it's our last show. We think. It's our last post-game show. We're going to keep doing shows. We did say that we were going to do that. So we promised, that's going to continue on through the rest of the playoffs, the offseason, into next season. We'll be back next year as well. But this is, sadly, the last show. We started this in the bubble last year, took us through to the Eastern Conference Finals, had done every single game this year, including preseason. And obviously through a very, 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 very short playoff run. But, we got to hang out with all of you guys, which was pretty fun for all of this time.
Definitely.
And there's, a lot of you guys. I know, say it ain't so. A lot of you guys, it's like family at this point. So it is going to be sad that the shows aren't over, but we're sure you guys are going to continue on with us as we keep doing shows throughout. So shout out to some of the you guys. Any chatters here you want to shout out to? I want to say Nat. I want to say obviously Annie, Kess, Dudley, Chris, ATLUIOL, Walrus.
Don't forget about Karen.
Fuzzy Dunlop, Karen, of course.
Karen.
Soapy.
Sophie. Yeah.
George, all of the Greek boys, all of Australia. We freaking love you guys. Thank you for hanging out, guys. Anyone else we're missing here? A ton. Soapy, we just said you.
We're missing a ton of people for sure.
Ton of people.
but you know
Anas,
what?
yep.
Yeah, I mean
Millions.
People have been in and out. People have been in and out all year, and I definitely recognize. I don't get to see the comments as easily as you guys, but I definitely recognize them when they come up here. And a lot of people have hopped over to locker room, which has been a lot of fun to hear some voices on the other end. But for me personally, this show has been like a blast to do. It's been one of the only constants in my life over the past 14 months. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I mean, it's kind of fitting that at least here in Massachusetts, COVID kind of unofficially ended on Saturday, and so does our show, I guess, for the season, because it started in the middle of COVID and bubble, all that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, and I definitely hope to everyone comes back during the off season where we'll have probably just as much, if not more, fun trying to piece together this team, and then we'll just see where it goes.
We're bringing
Shout out to
Josue
Indonesia.
Yes,
Okay, Indonesia's in the
There you
house. Okay.
My bad, guys.
Yeah, we got people from all over the world literally who check in, and I know a lot of people watch the show on rewind because everything's saved on the YouTube and all that stuff. So definitely, I know a lot of people who can't be in the live chat that I've spoken to in the YouTube comment section. I've gone to war in that YouTube comment section. So.
Fuzzy's still going down with the friggin' great television references. He's been doing it all season long.
We got overseas people who check it since last year's bubble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. We're going to take you guys to homeschool this offseason. I guarantee it.
It's going to be a busy summer of homeschooling. Yeah, you know what? For a season that was so unfun most of the time, I think we hopefully did our best to make it fun. So.
Oh man,
yeah,
that was.
I mean, even the worst of the worst losses, I can remember.
Those are the messages I love when people used to say that. Man, I look forward to you guys after these losses, man. That's one thing at least I have to.
Yeah, start the show now.
Yeah,
this game is so bad. Start the show.
4 minutes left. Just start it now.
So,
right.
Yeah. So I hate shameless plugs, but for people asking, what are the easiest ways to find out? We are going to continue doing shows. We're going to probably do at least a couple a week, even going through while the Celtics aren't playing and there's not a lot to talk about, starting next week, I would say. Easiest way to do it, honestly, if you haven't already, you got to follow our YouTube channels, both the main channel and our Celtics one. And sign up for notifications there. When we go live, you'll know it. But easiest thing, make sure you follow us on Twitter, personal handles, and Celtics CLNS. We'll be announcing there, hey, we're going to do a show. We'll put, promotional announcements there, letting you guys know, hey, this stuff is coming, on our website or whatever. That's obviously the easiest way, everybody's personal handle. So shameless plug, but by all means, that's the easiest way to find us and to keep tabs with what we're doing. For me personally, special shout out to everybody because, like I said, we started this as an experiment to see what would happen at the end of last year. Like, hey, we're here. We're locked down, as Jimmy said. Like, what else are we going to do? We're in the bubble. Let's make it happen. Let's do these shows.
Do something different.
Ireland.
And we caught a wave, and it was awesome. And then we added Sherrod, which was freaking more awesome because we never would have expected, a heavy hitter like Sherrod
what a
Blakely
cool thing.
to join the panel, and he did. So Sherrod, thank you for that. That was
it's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. There's an awesome addition. We've had Perk jumping in for locker room.
Too.
We had Goodman come in so you guys could all yell at him for his crap takes about Jaylen Brown.
That was fun.
People got really mad at Jeff. He
was smiling.
We'll have him back too. We'll have him back
for sure.
Too.
Yeah, and he'll be back too. So in the offseason, you'll hear from Jeff, you'll hear from Sherrod, you'll hear from Bob Ryan, you will hear from Nick, I guarantee.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
You're my boy, Nick. You're my boy.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna head over, guys. Nick. Guys, anything else before we wrap it?
No, man.
I
this
already
is good.
wrapped it for me.
No, this is special.
Yeah,
I'm just
Part
glad
of you
Jimmy
guys-
didn't start crying. I thought Jimmy was going to cry for a second there, man.
You didn't see the water.
This is the best thing that's happened to me in my 14 months.
You guys are my only friends.
Man. I'm like, come on, Jimmy.
I haven't seen the sun in a year and a half.
Come on, Jimmy.
Jimmy's back on his dating apps just now. It's good.
Yeah, I fired him back up.
Yeah.
I had to fire it back up now that we can all
Swiping
go
away.
out. So.
Right.
I knew you added some new picks in there.
We
I
were
said,
going over
wax
some
and wax.
dating strategy before the show started here.
Oh,
Yo, you
God.
guys really were. That was hilarious, Sherrod.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know what I walked in on.
pretzeled myself, so I gotta unpretzel my
Oh,
brain.
Lord.
Yeah.
I appreciate all my defenders in the chat because Lord knows there were
These
none
two
in
having
here.
like a
Bobby had-
and
so
I was
everybody
one
knows-
on four the whole season.
And so, in case anybody was wondering, Bobby and I actually like each other.
I feel like we need to say that. Everyone's like, you guys are way too mean to Bobby. It's like, because we love him.
we love Bobby.
No, I mean, for real, though, like I had just graduated months before this whole thing got started. I'm just starting out in this game. So to be here with Sherrod, who I grew up watching on the Celtics broadcast, and Jimmy, like I'm the young guy here with these old folks. So I'm just learning.
Wow.
And trying to break in here, and this has
Not
been
the
a
word I
special
would have
opportunity.
used, but all right.
Yeah.
I ain't old.
It's
I probably would have described that a little
Seasoned.
differently, but
different direction. You could have gone different.
Yeah, Bobby, you still got a little bit to learn,
Appreciate
man.
it.
We still got a little
Appreciate
bit
it, Bobby.
to learn on that
Appreciate it.
presentation.
Yeah.
You're good though. You're cool.
Yeah, right.
I
Tell
had
him,
to,
Jimmy. Tell him,
We'll
spoken
keep
like
you.
a real vet. Tell him, Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to
Just
get
work on
back
your
at all
delivery,
4 in
that's
one
all.
swipe.
this show didn't work. This show didn't work without Bobby. We needed a little sunshine in here.
Oh, of
Otherwise, it
course.
would have just been grumpy old men. So
Sunshine and knowledge, yes.
yeah, so that was good. Oh, knowledge.
Ooh.
That's another good
Ooh,
dig.
1 out of
okay.
2 ain't bad.
Just threw that in there.
Okay. I'm writing this down.
So 4 of us are heading over to locker room right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they wonder why we give Bobby heat. They wonder why we give.
Yeah.
Bobby
I had to swipe back to end the year, but appreciate everybody. Appreciate all you guys.
Damn,
Appreciate
Bobby.
the opportunity.
Lord knows what that cover letter looks like. Jeez.
Yeah.
Damn. Don't send it my way.
Might have lost some.
Damn.
Might have lost some
Don't
references
send it
tonight.
my way.
Good night, all.
Yeah, we're
Peace.
Bye,
really gonna
guys.
beat up on Bobby. Later, guys.
All right. See ya.
See you on locker.